For today's art and story time, I'm going to continue to work on this fan art of K-pop Demon Hunters Huntrix on Procreate on my iPad. If you have any questions about my process, please let me know. And my question for you today is, who is your favorite character from the movie K-pop Demon Hunters? I used to be super offended at the title of Weird. Growing up in a teeny tiny town in the middle of nowhere, Florida, the title meant othering from your peers, a type of ostracization that you wouldn't be able to escape if you misspoke, if you misstepped, or if you had undisclosed mental illnesses like me. Now, I don't mind the title of Weird. Me and a few other weird kids have maintained our relationships for well over a decade now, and I'm so glad because of it. And honestly, a lot of the weirdness came just simply from niche interests. And at the risk of sounding like a dirty hipster, a lot of these interests are actually now extremely popular and normal. In middle school, I started lugging around volumes of manga in my book bag, which did become admittedly a little bit more popular when I was in high school, but I only had a few friends and acquaintances I could really talk to about it. The one annual comic and anime themed convention that my sister used to bring me to every year is now one of the biggest conventions in the Southeast United States. And also with K-pop, it was really me and like two other students that would ever talk about K-pop. We would always fangirl over the campiness of the music, but how it also sounded really good at the same time. This was back during the time of early Big Bang, SHINee, and really groundbreaking K-pop like 2NE1. These were the predecessors of more globally known groups such as Blackpink and BTS. In my senior year of high school, Gangnam Style took a hold of the international airwaves, even making its way into the Billboard 100. It was a little bittersweet for me as I wish it had happened sooner. On the theme of music, while I was in school, Vocaloids were still extremely new. I introduced my two best friends to Vocaloids such as Hatsune Miku. That way we could fan over together the beautiful stories that people were crafting and posting up on YouTube. Now Miku has her own international concert series, and you can basically find merch of her everywhere at this point. Even the way I used to get my hair done while I was in school for years, my bangs bleached, the two pieces framing the side of my face, of course inspired by a manga character, later became a trend called money pieces, which before that, I had to convince some well-meaning people that no, I did not want to get the chunky highlights around my head that was popular at the time. So again, at the risk of sounding like a dirty hipster, if you're doing things that others are deeming weird and it's not hurting you or anyone else around you, just know you might just be a few years ahead of a curve. And what some people might call weird or strange might actually be something that brings you community and opportunities.